So I am in a bit of an ornery mood. And, since it's whatever day quarantine, but I was remembering a few things so I had written in either finding a silver lining or finding the silver lining about this situation, a few of the situations that I'll discuss. And so first off, law enforcement guys, I apologize because I didn't realize that I was being lied to. That's like, yeah, like I didn't realize I was being lied to. And two, if I had known that I was being lied to, well, I would have handled things differently. Ish. I mean, I still would have done some of the stuff that I did. I fully acknowledge that right now. Not to get myself in trouble, just being honest. So I'm going to start off with, there is that 151, that thing with the 151 Road Warriors, also known as Cactus Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr. with his brother Jeremy Kuykendall Jr. and their little sister Rachel Kuykendall Jr. Jeremy Kuykendall did not have a junior that I remember after his name. But then there was Rachel Kuykendall, that was the three siblings. And then Rachel wound up marrying a Marine and having a baby with him. So if that'll help with that. But also that whole, the two brothers were arrested. And so if number one, I was being lied to and that was their planning time and they hadn't done it already, then I apologize for not understanding that. However, if it was that they actually did that, by the time I was told about it, I didn't know who to tell. So in reference to that, I did not mean to piss off people in Dallas. I just didn't know who to tell, so I kind of figured since he wanted to wear that 151 t-shirt, the best way that I could figure to get help for the city of San Antonio because of the Fiesta thing with the Mad Max thing and that Alamo Dome Draft House, whatever, because I obviously didn't know, was to be like, oh, you shouldn't wear that t-shirt. Oh, but you're gonna. Oh, okay. Well, people that traveled to San Antonio to be, okay, well, here you go. I'm just going to parade you around. How's that atmosphere? They're on. Yeah. So I wasn't to be mean to you guys in Dallas, at least in my reference point. For him, obviously, he was doing what he was doing. However, for me, it was one of those, maybe you guys know how to fix this. Maybe you guys know who to call, because I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm dumb. I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. Don't mind me. So I'm just trying to... he makes fun of me for not knowing what Mad Max is, so, there you go. Or any form of pop culture, so, along with his former girlfriend, Jamie Robles, and even Jeremy Kuykendall didn't make fun of me nearly as much, but, at least to my face. So, with that being clarified, I also didn't know that he had essentially hypothetically taken the military uniforms that my now dead ex-husband had from I don't know where he got them. He said that he got them from trading with other soldiers. I don't remember. I've already clarified that, but I want to just re-clarify that before I go into what I'm going to go into, which,
But I actually had intended to take them
to a law enforcement branch. I just didn't know which one. But then, like, there was all that stuff that occurred, so, you know, as far as the funeral and everything, and then the after stuff of that, so it wasn't to be mean, it was like I was literally gonna. But since Cactus Jack, AKA Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr, had a thing for authentic uniforms, I didn't think about that until recently. So the best way for you to be able to find out is if he stupidly posted pictures. And since there was the military group that did the packing of all the stuff for the move from San Antonio to Carrollton, Texas, I would guesstimate that they were able to record in a writing thing of what all they packed.
So, that being said,
while I do apologize in those regards, I also have to say, looking back now, I mean, to the time when I was doing it, I wasn't laughing. It was not a funny thing. It was one of those, like, I really don't think you should, but oh, okay, you want to wear that t-shirt in front of, like, the San Antonio police officer who I got the Great Danes from? Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, set yourself up for failure, Cactus Jack. Go right ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. You know, I don't have to do anything. I'll just sit back here and let you do your thing. You go and tell that police officer for the city of San Antonio while he's in his police officer uniform about you doing the 151 thing. You go tell him. I don't have to I'll just, yeah, sure, go right. You know what? While you're at it, go ahead. Go tell all of the neighbors in the cul-de-sac. You go do that. You let them know.
Because obviously you have your freedom of expression. And since I have already repeatedly warned you and told you you sound like a terrorist, I cannot explain what you did better than you can. So you can go and explain it to that person and that person and that person, even though I told you you sound like a terrorist and you should stop and shut up. Okay, go ahead, don't listen to me. What do I know? I'll just, you know, not want to be in a relationship with you this whole time that you're speaking, but because at that time my now dead ex-husband was still alive, I'll just, you know, deal with it and let you, you know, go ahead. You remember that e-tool you were so proud of getting back from that lawyer? Go right ahead, you keep on digging. Go ahead. Go ahead, all by yourself. Look at you, you're so big using that e-tool, just digging. There you go. Keep on digging. There you go. There you go. Yes. I can laugh now. And so, you know, as the two of them, meaning Jeffrey Kuykendall and Jeremy Kuykendall, look very, very close. I mean, at least when I knew them back in 2007 and 2008. That's when I wound up meeting Cactus Jack, was in 2007. 2007 and then 2008 was like the end of the relationship. The Christmas pictures that my children and I took are like the prime example for proof. At JCPenney Portrait Studio.
Because if we were still together, which obviously we weren't, because of how I am, I would have had him in the picture. But since we weren't together, he was not in the pictures. And I can give another further example. Despite the way I wound up in Washington State, there were the pictures that my son and I took with my now ex-boyfriend, Jesse Leroy Hoover Jr. So that is an example of that, and it was at JCPenney Portugal. So there is that, but, and then because of, and it's not that I didn't want to still do pictures, it was just I couldn't remember stuff because of being in Washington State. I still wanted to do family portraits, I just couldn't remember. It was very painful, it was very difficult. There was at least the school year pictures, and so it was a lot that was going on then. So in that continuation and reference of the whole Cactus Jack issue, I do know that he would have been arrogant to continue on with certain things because he threw a titty, like his attitude, he threw a titty baby temper tantrum because he was called Cactus Jack. And so his payback for being called Cactus Jack was to do that. Well, hypothetically speaking, if he threw a titty baby temper tantrum because I broke up with him, and ironically, he did tell me he knew I was going to end the relationship. When I broke up with him, he was like, yeah, I kind of saw it coming. It's like, okay, well, if you saw it coming, then, you know, why would you continue being here? And then I have to take you back to San Antonio to get rid of you. Like, I mean, seriously. But anyway. But in reference to my Medal of Honor art project, if he had gotten involved with that, hypothetically, then that would just prove a further pattern of behavior on that because, so in that, at the graduation ceremony for my now dead ex-husband, it's funny but not funny, but funny but not funny. So, those who have been to a military graduation ceremony know that there's a certain procedure that occurs. And one of those procedures is that the troops that are graduating, they, you know, march onto the field with the colors of the flags, along with the Army flags and stuff like that, for the little streamers and stuff. And then, you know, they do an announcement, and then they play the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Well, I had already tried to make a video in reference to something else than saluting, but apparently that didn't want to load, so, you know. Anyway, so I had saluted during the national anthem. I saluted the American flag, and I saluted the soldiers who were graduating. Well, after the ceremony, Cactus Jack looks at me and he says, oh, Robert looks pissed. And I'm like, what else is new? Like, I mean, realistically, what else is new? So Robert, my now dead ex-husband, then just ex-husband, stomps over to where I'm at. And in front of my children, which biologically is, but he starts yelling at me. And he's like, who do you think you are saluting the American flag during the national anthem? An American? You are not allowed to salute the American flag unless you are in uniform. So as an American, I'm not allowed to. I mean, never mind the fact that I'm medically retired from the Army. I can't salute not just the American flag, but also salute the soldiers. I mean, you've seen me be like, hey, thank you for your service. You guys have a good day. You know, thank you for your service to the country. Thank you for your service to the city if it comes to, like, police officers and fire department and EMS. Like, you've never seen that before? No, I've seen you do that before, and I've yelled at you before. Okay, so you've seen that before. we're on a military post at Camp Mabry, and you're surprised that at our military graduation, and then Cactus Jack took my now dead ex-husband's sign, and he's like, yeah, I saw that she, it's like, like, really? But I stood my ground, and I was just one of those, no, I'm going to salute the American flag. If you don't like the fact that I can't unsalute it during the national anthem, it's kind of already happened. Just saying. And I've done it before, and guess what? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it a whole bunch of times, and you can't stop me. And so, ironically, going in reference to my now ex-boyfriend, Jesse Leroy Hoover Jr., he had actually seen me salute, there's this flag in downtown Tacoma, and you can see it from I-5. Every time when driving by it, not just that American flag, but just, I didn't think anything, like anybody noticing it, just I have the music going anyway. So it's just like, oh, it's just part of the dance. Like, whatever. And, my now ex-boyfriend, then boyfriend, Jesse Leroy Hoover Jr. looks at me and he goes, what did you just do? My son was in the back seat. I look at him and I go, I saluted the American flag. Why? And he was just like, did you really just salute the American flag when driving by? Yes, I did. I do it every time. Every time I see the American flag, I have no problem saluting. Sometimes I'm like, and other times I'm like, because it was behind at that one, like, what? And he was just like, well, you just look stupid for saluting the American flag. And it's like, at that time, I was working on my Medal of Honor art project. So it's one of those, gee, I don't know. I mean, I'm just, just working on... What? Yeah. I salute the American flag because I do that. But in that reference, if, Cactus Jack, AKA Jeffrey Kuykendall Jr., in conjunction with my biological mother and biological sister, since they both had an issue with me being, how dare I be patriotic to the United States of America after I joined the military for the armed forces? What? Who would think that? I've defended the American flag and the national, Constitution and all sorts of things, all different ways, and albeit I am medically retired from the Army because of that head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, while the soldiers, whichever branch of division, went overseas and did as those guys were doing what they could do, the only thing I could think of was genuinely supporting how I could on the U.S. soil. And if people had a problem, as obviously they have had with me saluting the American flag in the United States of America, I'm still gonna do it. I've done it a whole bunch of times. I'm gonna do it again. I did it before my head injury. I've done it ever since waking up from the coma from my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. I'm gonna do it again. Because if it wasn't for the constitutional rights, I would not be able to have my tattoos. I would not be able to have my haircut, hair color, anything like that. I would not be able to speak. So, That is how I'm being ornery. Yup. I'm gonna salute the American flag. I'm gonna say thank you for your service. I didn't realize it was such a big deal. Excuse me. So yeah, and if anybody was genuinely surprised about my Medal of Honor art project, because despite the fact I spoke about doing it before winding up in Washington State, I salute the American flag, and I'm spiritual and stuff, and yeah. Darn! I'm so patriotic that I'm going to salute the American flag, and in turn, saluting every soldier in the past and present and future time for their contributions to doing what was necessary for, like, everybody now. Yep. You caught me. CIA guys, you caught me. I saluted the American flag. FBI, you caught me. I saluted the American flag and said thank you. Military guys of every branch and division, you caught me. You caught me. I saluted the American flag. I did it, and I'm going to do it again once out of quarantine. So you guys have a good one.